This is the official first installment of a series of videos I'm putting out on the topic of waging peace. That is, waging peace as opposed to waging war. Why do I put it in that framework? Well, actually, I didn't make up that phrase. It was, I learned that phrase. I received that as a little gift given to me by a gentleman I was able to meet this year. I call him my friend now. His name is Takashi Tanemori. He's a survivor of the Hiroshima bombing. He was 8 years old, and he wrote a book about that experience, which I've mentioned. I think I showed the cover. It's called Hiroshima, Bridge to Forgiveness. And I first learned about Tanemori-san from a documentary that I saw earlier this year. It's called The Day the Bomb Dropped. It was produced, I believe, by the Smithsonian Channel, and it's about 45 minutes, not that long. Came out in 2015, if I didn't mention that. I may have. So here's a quick summary of it. The key scientist of the Manhattan Project, the pilot who navigated the Enola Gay over its target, that's the plane that dropped the bomb in Hiroshima, the man who broke the news to Truman that the bomb had been dropped, and the citizens of Hiroshima who somehow survived to see their city obliterated. These are the stories of August 6, 1945, the day that launched the atomic age, told by the people who were there. So a little bit more about this documentary. I really encourage, if you're interested, if you're willing to check it out. As I said, it's not very long. I believe it's playing on Paramount. I was able to watch it on my Amazon streaming with my Paramount subscription. So, yeah, there are a number of people in here, actually a number of Hiroshima bombing survivors. Tetsushi Yonezawa, who is 11, and Yoshie Oka. This person was working, this young lady was working in a communications bunker. Setsuko Thurlow, she found herself buried under a collapsed building after the attack. So as I said, Tanemori-san was 8, and he is also, he has a number of spots in this documentary where he's sharing his experience. And here's a little quote. "The entire sound of the universe just exploded, and the bang," he recalls, "that sound almost split my skull, and that sound so loud." So it's quite a remarkable documentary, and so I definitely encourage you to check it out. So that really set me on a little bit of a journey of learning about Tanemori-san, and I found this book that he wrote, and read the book and started looking up other mentions of him on the internet. I learned that he became a peace activist, and I started searching for some information how to contact him to see if I would be able to, somehow speak with him or meet him. And I found out he lives in the San Francisco area. That's where he pretty much settled after the age of 18. And he has stayed in America. He's made this his home. But his journey is pretty remarkable, and I will be just kind of summarizing it in some future videos here. But I have a friend who lived in that area, and he gave me some contact info. It took a number of months, but I finally, through some contacts, particularly a woman who interviewed him on YouTube, I'll mention her name in the future. She was so gracious as to reach out to a dear friend of Tanemori-san's out in the San Francisco area, who then became my contact. And we corresponded for at least a good month before we were able to, or a few weeks or a month before we were able to make an arrangement. And I flew out there just this past October, or last month. And I had a chance to meet him over the weekend with a friend of mine who lives out there, who became my chauffeur and my host and everything. And it was really a very memorable meeting. And there's some personal, meaningful moments that I share about that when we get into the story. But that's basically how I got to know about him in the first place. And I think if you watch the documentary, I'm pretty sure, like me, you're going to be really struck by how vivid and immediate Tanemori-san's recollections are of his experience. He was within 1 mile. I think it was, yeah, within 1 mile of the epicenter of the blast, ground zero. And I'll mention one. I'll mention one little detail, and like I said, I'll go into more detail. But he was in a playground playing hide and seek with some friends. I don't recall if he was. It's not clear if he was in the building or not, or just in the yard. But I believe he had maybe entered the building, and the school building, and the bomb exploded actually above the ground, and he was buried. He could hear his friends screaming, but he was rescued. I mean, it's really amazing. He was rescued by a soldier, and here's the miracle: this soldier carried him to this river everyone was gathering, and miraculously, his father survived. In fact, he was unscratched, and he was reunited with his father. And it's just an incredible. It's an incredible story, incredible moment as you're reading this, to learn that his father was alive and he was reunited with him. It's incredible. And then there's some other family members as well who survived. Some were lost. I will go into that. And next time, installment 2.